Have you ever held something in your hand that looked so ordinary, yet was anything but? That's exactly what the 2004 South African 50 cents coin is. At first glance, it might seem like a simple piece of currency, another coin passed from hand to hand without a second thought. But behind its Copernican shine lies a story of rarity, mystery, and unexpected value that has stunned collectors across the globe. Minted by the South African Mint, the 50 cents coin is part of the post-apartheid coinage series, introduced with pride to showcase the country's natural beauty and cultural identity. The 2004 edition carries the famous Strelitzia design, also known as the crane flower, a symbol of elegance and resilience. That flower, so beautifully engraved, wasn't just picked for its looks, it represents a national spirit, something deeply rooted in the heart of South Africa. But what makes the 2004 coin so different from the many others minted before and after it? That's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Most years, millions of coins are produced and circulated, making them easily available and largely unremarkable in the eyes of collectors. But in 2004, something unusual happened. Fewer coins were released into circulation, and among those, subtle variations began to appear, minute changes in strike quality, slight misalignments, and faint die cracks that made some coins stand apart. These are the things collectors dream of. Not obvious at first glance, but once discovered, their value skyrockets. It's not just the coin's physical characteristics that make it rare. It's the timing, the mintage patterns, and how few people actually notice what they had in their hands. For years, this coin flew under the radar. It was spent, stored, dropped, and forgotten until collectors started realizing that finding a flawless 2004 50 cents coin was far harder than it should have been. Slowly, word spread. Auction houses began receiving inquiries. Numismatic forums lit up with discussions. People started digging through their drawers and jars, hoping to spot the delicate lines of the Strelitzia with that perfect 2004 date. There's a kind of magic in rediscovery. A coin that's been ignored for years suddenly becomes the center of attention. And when something becomes rare, demand doesn't just grow, it explodes. Especially when collectors from around the world join the hunt. Some are motivated by the thrill of finding something priceless hidden in plain sight. Others see it as an investment, a piece of history that will only grow more valuable with time. What adds even more intrigue to the 2004 edition is the speculation around its minting. Some believe that due to political or economic factors, the South African Mint reduced production that year. Others suggest that coins from certain batches were pulled from circulation early or melted down, making the surviving pieces even scarcer. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: this isn't just a coin. It's a puzzle, a treasure, a piece of a much larger story that's still being uncovered. Imagine someone stumbling across this coin by accident, tossing it on a table without realizing its worth. Maybe it sat in a drawer for years, overlooked and untouched. And then one day, someone with a keen eye and a bit of curiosity takes a second look. That's how many great coin discoveries begin, with nothing more than a hunch, a spark of interest, and a bit of luck. Collectors know that in the world of numismatics, rarity isn't always about age. It's about availability, condition, and historical significance. The 2004 South African 50 cents coin checks all the boxes. It's not ancient, but it's scarce. It's not made of gold or silver, but it carries a unique story. And because so few were preserved in mint condition, those that remain have become incredibly desirable. The real turning point came when coin dealers started showcasing the 2004 coin at exhibitions and private sales. One by one, collectors began to understand its true potential. And with that understanding came a dramatic shift in price. Once considered just a common coin, its value began climbing steadily, catching the eye of investors as well as hobbyists. High-quality examples began fetching thousands. Then tens of thousands. Eventually, one sale would shock everyone paying attention because one collector, recognizing the extreme rarity and pristine condition of a specific 2004 50 cents coin, placed a staggering valuation on it. Not for hundreds. Not for thousands. Not even for hundreds of thousands. This particular coin was listed at an unbelievable price of $2 million. It's more than just a coin. The 1980 South African 50 cents is a tangible piece of history, a silent witness to decades past, crafted not from luxury metals, but from nickel, yet carrying a wealth of meaning far beyond its material. When you hold it, you hold a story of South Africa during the late 20th century, of national identity, of art, and of currency change. In 1980, the Union, later Republic of South Africa, was still under the system that issued coins featuring the coat of arms on one face and native flora on the other. This 50-cent coin belongs to the second decimal series, introduced in 1965, which replaced the earlier pre-decimal 5 shillings coin. That earlier coin was made of silver, but from 1965 onwards, the 50 cents denomination was struck in nickel fine, a more durable choice for general circulation. OnlineCoin.club +2 Munstuck International Coins +2. This coin weighs 9.50 grams, measures about 27.85 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of approximately 2.20 to 2.21 millimeters. Munstuck International Coins +2 OnlineCoin.club +2. Its edge is plain, smooth, no ridges, no special indentations. OnlineCoin.club +1. It was produced by the South African Mint, sometimes referred to as the Pretoria or Centurion Mint. When it was issued, nearly 4.3 million were struck, more exactly, around 4,268,000 in the regular circulation mintage, plus small figures for proof and others. Veronum +2 OnlineCoin.club +2. On one face, the coin shows the coat of arms of South Africa. This emblem is rich in symbolism, quartered shield-bearing iconography for the 4 provinces, Transvaal, Cape Province, Natal, and the Orange Free State. Supporting animals, crest, shield, all of them carry weight. Around the central arms, in bold yet elegant lettering, are the dual names South Africa and SUID Afrika, indicating both English and Afrikaans. The date, 1980, sits beneath. And in near-invisible script, the initials TS, for Tommy Sassin, the designer, appear. OnlineCoin.club +2 Munstuck International Coins +2. Flip it over, and you find a beautiful arrangement of 3 flowers, the arum lily, the African lily, and the striking Strelitzia, better known as bird of paradise. These are not random decorative additions, they speak of South Africa's natural wealth, of endemic flora, of landscapes and gardens one can imagine under expensive South African skies. To the right is the large numeral for 50, for 50 cents. Again, the designer's initials are discreetly included. OnlineCoin.club +1. Though made for circulation, coins of this sort have gradually been withdrawn. The 1980 50 cents was in use up until coins were redesigned and new materials introduced, notably when the third decimal series came in around 1990, featuring smaller steel-based coins. OnlineCoin.club +1. Thus, while many saw everyday use, surviving specimens with strong detail, minimal wear, sharp edges, crisp artwork, and clean fields are becoming harder to find. Those are the ones collectors truly covet. Rarity for this coin is moderate to scarce, depending heavily on condition. Because millions were produced, common or heavily worn examples are abundant. But well-preserved pieces, especially uncirculated examples, or those with proof strikes, fetch attention. Coins having bright surfaces, no corrosion, crisp lettering, and well-defined design elements command premium among numismatists. Some may even seek versions with particular die varieties, though for 1980 the regular variety is the standard. OnlineCoin.club +2 Munstuck International Coins +2. The imagery itself carries weight, the coat of arms speaks of province, unity, history. The flowers speak of natural beauty and national pride. The bilingual inscriptions tell of a multilingual society. The choice of metal and size reflect economic choices of the era, nickel for durability in daily use, rather than precious metals, and a substantial size so that 50 cents felt like a meaningful denomination. The transition from this large, nickel coin to later, smaller steel ones marks a shift, of economy, of practicality, and of the symbols used by a country changing both politically and socially. Holding one of these coins today is to touch the transition. Collectors often evaluate such a coin along several axes: grade, rarity, eye appeal, toning, luster, strike quality, centering, and surface condition. A nicely struck 1980 50 cents with even color, clear floral details, no dings or gouges, sharp edges, and full inscriptions can look stunning, especially when held against light or viewed under a magnifier. In contrast, a coin that is heavily circulated, worn down, with flattened rims or faded design details, will appeal mostly for its historical value rather than as an investment piece. As for market values, common, circulated 1980 50-cent coins often sell for very modest sums, just a few dollars depending on condition. But in contrast, pristine examples, or those certified by grading authorities, can trade for far higher prices. When collectors want one of superb condition, perhaps in proof or near-proof state, or with exceptional toning or uniqueness, the value steps up dramatically. This coin also tells a personal story. Imagine someone putting it in their pocket to pay for daily items in 1980 South Africa. It passed from hands, from markets, from buses, maybe from school fees, groceries, or travel. Over time, many were lost, others damaged, others melted down or discarded. Few survived in excellent shape. Thus each surviving high-grade specimen is a survivor of time. If you want to display one, such a coin is perfect for numismatic showcases, albums, coin cases, lecterns with soft fabric, light angle to show the relief on the arms, the petals of the flowers, the shine of the nickel without overglare. It's not just a coin, it's a talking piece. For history lovers, for art lovers, for those who treasure symbols, for collectors who appreciate national identity embodied in metal, the legacy of this 1980 50-cent coin lives on in museums, in private collections, in online galleries. It is catalogued under KM number 87. It is studied, admired, traded, preserved. Its story is a reminder that even everyday objects, the coins in one's change, can carry stories of nations, cultures, artistry, and change. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell so you never miss a story that could change what you think you know about the coins in your collection. Alright, let's talk about something that might be sitting unnoticed in your drawer, a 50-cent coin from South Africa, dated 1989. Just 50 cents. Not quite. What if I told you there's a story hidden in this small piece of metal, a story that could be worth millions? Take a closer look at this coin. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's nickel. It doesn't sparkle like a rare gemstone, and to the untrained eye, it looks ordinary. One side shows a bold number 50, framed by beautiful native South African flowers. The other side holds the proud national coat of arms, with the words South Africa and South Africa, and the year, 1989. You've probably seen it before. Maybe you've even spent one or tossed it in a jar without a second thought, but stop and think for a moment. What happens when a coin like this disappears from circulation for over 3 decades? What happens when fewer and fewer remain in mint condition? And what if, just what if, a few of them were never meant to be seen by the public at all? Now, here's where things get interesting. The real value of a coin doesn't lie in its face value. It lives in its condition, its rarity, its story. Most people think, well, they made millions of these coins back then. How can mine be special? But let me ask you, how many of those millions were perfectly preserved? How many sat untouched in a collector's vault, far away from dirty hands, pockets, and time? The majority of these coins were used daily. They passed through hands, through shops, through time. They were scratched, bent, dropped. Some were lost forever. But there are always a few, just a few, that escape all of that. Coins that were never circulated, coins that came from a special minting badge, coins struck slightly differently, off-center, with a flaw, or using a test die. These are the ghosts of the mint. And when one of these shows up decades later in flawless condition, collectors go wild. Imagine finding such a coin. No wear. No scratches. Full detail on every petal of those delicate flowers. Sharp edges. Glossy shine. The kind of condition that would make even the most seasoned numismatist pause. That coin isn't worth 50 cents anymore. Not even $50. We're talking thousands. In rare cases, tens of thousands. And when the story, rarity, and condition all align, millions. Now think about this. The market for rare coins is no longer just for hobbyists. Wealthy investors, global collectors, even museums are chasing these rare pieces of history. For them, it's not just about collecting. It's about owning something no one else has. Bragging rights. Legacy. And when someone wants something badly enough, they will pay. Sometimes, they will pay more than anyone expects. Over the years, whispers have traveled through collector circles about a legendary 1989 South African 50-cent coin. Not just any coin. A coin struck differently. A coin that never entered circulation. A coin in absolutely perfect condition, uncirculated, untouched, unmatched. Some say it came from a proof set that never made it to the public. Others claim it was an early die test, with slight variations in design, marking it as a one-of-a-kind. Stories vary, as legends do, but one detail always comes back: the price. They say a private collector paid an astronomical sum for this coin. Not in public. Not in an auction house. Quietly. Discreetly. A handshake deal among high-end collectors. The number that keeps resurfacing. $2.4 million. That's right, $2.4 million for a 50-cent coin. Now let's be clear, most of these coins aren't worth anywhere near that. You won't get rich overnight by digging through your change jar, but here's the point: one coin did. One version of this simple-looking piece of nickel achieved what most coins never will. Because it wasn't just 50 cents. It was flawless. It was rare. And it was wanted. Now ask yourself, have you ever looked closely at your coins? Have you checked the date? Have you inspected the surface under a magnifying glass? You might be sitting on a piece of history without even knowing it. That 1989 50-cent coin you forgot about could be ordinary. But what if it isn't? What if yours is the one that never entered circulation? The one with the slight design difference. The one no one else has. The world of coin collecting isn't about luck. It's about knowledge. It's about curiosity. And sometimes, it's about holding on to something the world has forgotten, until it remembers again. So, if you've got a 1989 50-cent coin from South Africa, take a closer look. Examine the details. Preserve it carefully. And most importantly, never assume something is worthless just because it looks ordinary, because in the world of rare coins, ordinary can become extraordinary in a heartbeat. And yes, somewhere out there, one man's 50 cents truly did sell for $2.4 million. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You never know, you might be the next one to uncover a forgotten treasure. Stay curious, keep collecting, and keep your eyes open. Because legends live in the smallest places, even in the palm of your hand.